Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Create with Linda. So, guys, it is Monday, and I'm not doing what's for dinner because we just had some burgers on the grill quick because it's so hot and humid today. In fact, right now I'm outside and I'm in my backyard sitting out here, not by my under my gazebo because it's very shady in the back of my yard. I'm sitting over here just to be quiet and by myself because to talk with everybody in the under the gazebo in and out or whatever. It's just too much, too much noise. So I'm sitting over here, and I didn't have a spray bottle from my Skin So Soft, so I just took some and put some on a paper towel and then just rubbed it all over my arms and my legs and my feet and my neck and shoulders and all that because I'm telling you guys, the mosquitoes here are bad. And like I said, we've done everything. We have the 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 shocker thing, and we have citronella candles, and we got all kinds of stuff. But they just at this time of night too, at sunset, they just rip me apart. So I'm being bold, and I came out here because it's not as humid. It seems to be, the humidity seems to have broken a little bit, so it's nice out. We haven't been out all day because it just was so hot. I didn't even want to venture out. You open up the door, let the dogs out, and you felt like the steam coming in the house. And I mean, the dogs are out here for 5 minutes, and they let themselves in. They don't stay out here for very long. Just way too hot for them. So yeah. So yeah, guys. So I've been in a little funk the last couple of weeks. Well, you know, guys, with depression, it's like never ending. It's like, just when I think like I'm good and like emotionally I'm set and all that, it's like every day is a different day, and like not even the day, like every couple of hours is different. Like I feel different every couple of hours. It's weird. Like I don't know. Like I've just been in a little bit of a funk today. Can I tell you? I was feeling good earlier. Well, I really wasn't feeling that great today at all since I got up. And then I got a little bit of a motivation in me, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put. I bought this new shirt at Walmart, and I had this on, and I had to do dishes and stuff, and I didn't want to get my shirt all dirty, so I put my apron on. So I put my apron on because then I was also planning on maybe doing a video or, doing something, organization video or, excuse me, or something. And do you know that I literally had my apron on all day? I had it on all day. I didn't take it off till I just got done doing dishes because I just felt like I needed to do something, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. Like, it's like, I can't even explain. Like, I think somebody who doesn't have depression will know what I'm talking about. It's like a feeling, like, because people say, "Oh, well, what's wrong?" Like my husband will say to me, "What's wrong? Like, can I help you with something?" There's nothing you can help me with. It's just me inside of me. It's like what's going on inside of me, and like it's like I'm fighting against myself almost. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do videos because I really love doing them. Number one, and number two, I always feel like when I'm not doing something productive, I should be. Like, like my girlfriend said to me today, tomorrow's another day. Like, you don't have to, sit and relax. It's too hot. Like, but I always feel like I'm not doing the right thing if I'm not doing something productive, which is my own issue. Nobody makes me feel like that. It's just my own insecurity and my own issue. But I just think like this depression, anxiety, just like, because like all of a sudden then I'm like, you know what? I do this to myself. Like I pressure myself. Like I felt so overwhelmed and that's what happens with me. If I get really overwhelmed, I get so overwhelmed that I don't do anything because it's too much. So I thought to myself, you know what? Relax, because you're the one that's putting pressure on yourself. You're the one that's making yourself feel this way. And it's so true. Like, it's so true, guys. I get in my own head. I, um, I just procrastinate, and I just constantly overthink things, and instead of just doing. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm falling back into that little structure of, you know, not doing what I need to do when I usually am able to push myself to do the things that I want to do and need to do. But the last couple of weeks, I feel like I'm giving up. I'm not, like, emotionally, I feel like I'm giving up. I'm not pushing myself to do those things that I usually push myself to do. And that's what makes me go backwards. That's what makes me stuck. That's what makes me more overwhelmed, because I don't do it. I procrastinate about it, and then I beat myself up for not doing it. Like, like I said, all day I had my apron on because I had ideas of just, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do a video. I wanted to do it, but I just never did it. I never did it. And I'm not saying I wasn't productive today. Like, I did dishes, and, I cooked dinner. I didn't put, I made hamburgers on the grill, and, baked beans and all that. And we all ate, and I cleaned up. And, so, I mean, you could see I'm together today. I have a little makeup on. I'm whatever. I just had this overwhelming feeling in my gut today that I was trying to push through, and I just couldn't push through it. So, guys, I know I've spoke about this before. I think it's just so much going on, like, in my life and in my head and in my emotions and everything. I guess you could say this is a Talk About It Monday. Talk About It Monday. Just a lot going on, guys, that I don't vocalize to my friends or my husband or whatever. But I guess now I'm really vocalizing it to everybody, right? 300 and... what do I have? 48, 47, 46 subscribers. I've been on 345 to 348 the last couple of weeks, the last probably month or two. It goes to 348, and then I lose subscribers, it goes to 345, and then it goes back to 347, 346. So, guys, you know what? I haven't even looked at it, so I don't even know what it is today. Whatever it is, but all 300 and something of you will know now. Anyway. I lost my train of thought. So you could turn me around, guys, and I just forget what the hell I'm talking about. What was I saying? What was I thinking in my head? Oh, I let my emotions really get to me. Now, I don't know. I haven't seen my therapist in a long, long time. Now, I saw her regularly before the pandemic, like once at least every couple of weeks, or if not once a week. And then, with the pandemic, we stopped, and I spoke to her on the phone a couple of times. I have not seen her. In fact, I told you guys that I spoke to her, and we were going to make a private session to go see her, but she never called me. She must have forgot. She's a little forgetful, and I think that she probably thinks that I was supposed to call her, and she's waiting for me to call. So I'm going to call her and remind her, because she was supposed to call me back and give me an appointment. She never did. I've been procrastinating about that too, so I need to get back to her. I've been trying to journal my thoughts, which is a savior, guys. I'm not going to go get my journal too. It's inside. I've been writing down my thoughts in my journal again, which really, really helps. If I can't get to my therapist, I just talk about everything I feel in the journal, guys, and it's really very lethargic. Very, what's the word? Lethargic? No, cathartic, something like that. It's very calming, to write in my journal, because I get out all the feelings and the stuff that's going on inside of me. Of course, nobody talks back to me, so that's kind of difficult. But I talk to myself. But going to her really helps me, and at this point, I really feel it's very serious. Like, I really need to speak to her, because I just think I'm struggling with so many issues in my mind, and things that aren't resolved, or things that are weighing on me, and that, I need to, like, talk to her about and hear some rationalization about it, because I can only rationalize so much in my own head. You know what I mean? So, so I definitely got to make... tomorrow, I got to call her up and just tell her, look, you never called me for my appointment. Where's my appointment? And then, I have to put the money aside, because she gave me... she said that she'll see me privately, and I'll give her a certain amount, money. And I'm not going to say how much it is, but I have to take that money, put that aside, because it's not $20. It's not, it's not $100, but it's not It's just money that needs to be, put aside. So that's another thing in my head, like, oh God, but that, like my husband always tells me, it's as important as feeding yourself with food, getting your therapy. So he's really right. He really is. But I push it aside and say next week, next week, next week. Anyway, that's the way it is. But anyway, guys, I'm struggling with a lot. I'm struggling with, with the deaths that have happened in my family. I'm struggling with the thoughts of the reality of really them all being gone. I lost my mother at 20, not 20. I was 30 when my mother died, but I lost my mother almost 20. This July, it's going to be 24 years or 23 years. Let me think. Yes, it'll be 24 years, July 23rd, that my mom passed away. 24 years. God, I don't even believe that. It just feels like yesterday, most days. And my mother died, and it was very devastating. I spoke about this before. She was a very hands-on grandmother, a very hands-on mom. She was always there, and we were very close and all of that. And that was a sudden passing, which was very, very devastating. And, like that pain still hurts as bad as it did when she first passed. And, a lot went on with my dad. Like, my dad was so healthy until he was 85 years old, and he started, having issues, and he had, they had discovered bladder cancer, and so he was, sorry, I think I got bit already. He, was having treatments, and every time they put him out, he had gotten a little bit of dementia every single time, and he was out for a few times because they had to do testing and all that kind of stuff for him, and he had to be put to sleep and all that. And to make a long story short, he got urinary tract infections, which also, I literally think I got a bit already. I think I'm going to win. I really do, because I'm getting bit already, I think. He got urinary tract infections, which made him very, very forgetful and all of that. And anyway, to make a long story short, guys, my dad went from living on his own, having a girlfriend, being social, driving a car, and all of that, to within 3 or 4 months living with my sister and have to leave his apartment because he couldn't be trusted. He couldn't be trusted to drive anymore. He couldn't be trusted in the apartment. He'd falling. It just was really, really bad, guys. And he went from, like I said, within a year and a half being independent to being in a nursing home because it was just unsafe for him to be home, even with us. Like, he was very hard to handle. It was very, very difficult for him and for us, and we had to make the decision to put him in a nursing home, and it was hard. It was the hardest year of our lives. I know my life, and I know my sister's too. It was rough for our family to have him. The first nursing home he went to was horrid, and it was supposedly a good nursing home. Nursing homes, guys, no matter what nursing home you're in, nursing homes are not good. They're not good. I'm sorry. I have nightmares still. I just think, and I'm not saying he was mistreated or anything like that, but it's just not a fun place. It really isn't, and it's very, 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 very sad. And to leave him and walk out was the most hardest thing to do. When I used to go there, his face would light up, and he would say, "Linda, you're here. Thank God you're here." I have pictures of him holding my hands, and just videos of him, and and he just was, and he gave up. He just gave up because he couldn't live like that. My dad had so much pride and just loved his independence. And when they took his license away, oh my God, let me tell you something. That doctor, he used to sit and talk and say, "What if I tell the doctor this? If he asks me a question and I get it right, do you think he'll give me my license back?" Like, he just was devastated. And ever since that, he just went downhill fast. And then when he went to the nursing home, we got him into, he went to the upstairs, which was like a more independent type of place. And we had to take him out of there. And then we got him into I hate to say a nice, but a nicer nursing home, which we preferred for him. And even that nursing home, it was the nicest nursing home, but it was still a nursing home. And it was rough, guys. It was rough going there. And, he didn't want to eat. He was angry and he was upset. And sometimes I'd go there and he'd be like, who are you? And then sometimes he'd be like, Linda, just really, really sad. And guys, and I hate to say this, and I might be judged for saying this, but God, I prayed for him to go. I prayed because he couldn't live like that anymore. I couldn't see him like that anymore. Like, every time I had to go there, I walked in crying and I walked out crying because going there was rough seeing him, but yet I was so glad to be there and to see him, to be able to spend time with him and to see him. And then, leaving was like, how horrible was it to leave him there? And especially if he would say, please don't leave me. Take me with you. Take me with you. I mean, really, that's like heartbreaking. But, I really think everything happens for a reason, guys, because, with him having Alzheimer's or dementia, whatever, my sisters and I were taking turns taking him. He was basically staying with my sister Gina because she had the accommodations for him, and she had whatever. So she had a room for him and all of that. I didn't have a separate room for him. All I had was either my couch or give him one of my kids' rooms, which was really not feasible. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that he ended up coming here and spending. We would like switch off every 3 weeks. Like, he would say one sister, then he wrote to my other sister, and then he would come for me. And I had him 2 times, I think, for 3 weeks. And guys, let me tell you, it was hard. It was hard having him because he had to sleep in my daughter's bed, and because he had to stay downstairs because he would fall and all of that. It was really rough, but it was the best time still. It was so good and so bad at the same time. It was like a beautiful disaster. That's exactly what it was, because we got to spend time together. He loved, loved, loved my backyard. He loved the peaceful and quietness of it. He would sit under the gazebo that we had at that time, and he would be like, he would just sit in the sun. He loved it. He would sit out there, and I'd leave him out there by myself, and I'd peek, Daddy, you okay? I'm fine. But we got to have talks, and I made him dinner, and he loved my meals, and we talked about the old times. He remembered everything from his childhood and all that, but he couldn't remember what he did yesterday. You know what I mean? Really odd. But, guys, it happened for a reason, because I don't think I would have got that precious time with my dad. Because I did go visit him a lot. I saw him a lot. But you don't, when you're living with somebody, when somebody's with you 24 hours a day, you have that time, and that you spend that quality time. And we really did, guys. We really did. And thank you for that, God. Thank you for that. So it really did happen for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason. I really do. I really do. And I really believe, that happened for a reason. So that was special. That was really special. He'll be gone 3 years in January, the end of January. And I just can't believe it. I just can't. Because my father lived 20 years longer than my mother. Hi, buddy. Say hi. You want some say hi? So that was a long time to have my dad without my mom, so I wasn't lacking for what's the word I'm trying to use? I had my dad, so it helped losing because I had my dad, it helped when the pain of my mom being gone, and then, when my dad, like, it was so hard, it was so much harder losing my dad. Because my mom was such a shock, and, it was hard as hell, don't get me wrong, for so long. Still is hard, but my dad, I just think it was worse, too, watching him deteriorate. And when we went to hospice, he was in hospice for they thought that he would go in a couple of days, but guys, I think he was in there about a week. He held out a week. And we would go there and we would, you know, he would, all of a sudden he'd be out, and then all of a sudden he'd open up his eyes, and we would talk to him, and he would look at us like as if he knew us. And, you know, we got to spend such special time with him in hospice. But what a heartbreaking thing to go through. Like, to watch your father literally deteriorate and just wither away to nothing was the most horrible thing I'll ever have to experience in my life. I know. It has to be. So horrible. And I get choked up when I think about it. But it was weird because I felt like it was so hard, but it was so beautiful at the same time. You know, the priest came in, and they did a beautiful little ceremony and gave him his last rites, and he was a veteran, which he was so proud of. And the veteran came in, you know, the whoever it was, and they did like a little ceremony and gave us a little thing. You know, it was amazing. It was amazing, guys. It was just a beautiful thing. It really was. And I'm so glad that we had that experience. I'm really, really glad that we had that experience, even though it was such a hard thing to watch your dad pass away like that. It was also a good thing. It was also a good thing. So I miss him terribly, but you know, he stays with me forever. He was such a personality and such a strong-willed guy, and just, you know, at times very, very hard person to have a relationship with, because he was just a hard ass sometimes. But he was also a very loving man, very, very loving man. He was a great father, and he was a very good grandfather. So that's all I have to say about. But that, you know, so I have that pain in one side of my pocket. I got my mother up here, my dad over here, and then my aunt Jerry, who was my mother's sister and my father's brother's wife. 2 sisters married 2 brothers. I've explained this before to you guys. So anyway, we were very close with them growing up and whatever. And my aunt had gotten into a car accident years ago, and it hurt her. She had some sort of brain injury, and she just was never the same. She was never the same, and she was just, you know, very childlike, and just wasn't the same lady that she was. But so, even though she you know, she was alive, it was like she was gone. She was gone. The real Aunt Jerry was gone, you know, and she passed away, like, I think it was, my father's gone 3, she died after my father. She's gone, I think it'll be 2 years. And then her husband, my Uncle Lenny, who was my father's brother, he passed away in March. So we lost him. Then we lost my Aunt Cookie. My Aunt Cookie just passed away, who was my mother's other sister. My mother had 2 sisters, Aunt Jerry and Aunt Cookie, and she passed away, and she was the last one. Well, we also have my Uncle Vito, who was my Aunt Cookie's ex, which is my cousin's dad. He's still here, thank God. He's the only one left. We love him, Uncle V. But yeah, so Aunt Cookie's gone now. So all my mother's sisters are gone. So I feel like I have no connection with anybody. I have no connection, you know, they're all gone. Like, the matriarchs of the family are gone. And it's like I almost feel like, you know, the floor just, like, fell underneath me, you know. And, you know, most days I'm okay. I can handle it and all of that. And, like, I had to go to I didn't have to. I was invited to my cousin's little babies. Well, they're 5. They're 5. A 5-year-old twin birthday party. You guys saw the video of the farm that I put up. They had the farm animals and everything and all that. We had a great time. But it was hard because that was where my aunt lived, my Aunt Cookie, and she wasn't there. And it was very noticeable. You could feel it. You could just feel the missing of her, you know. And it was really just hard because, you know, and like, we don't really see our cousins that much. So it's like, you know, we're all kind of separated, living our own lives and doing our own things. And we all try to keep in touch or whatever. We see each other once a year maybe or something, at funerals or weddings, you know, stuff like that. And it's just very, very difficult. And I'm just having a lot of trouble handling and coping with all of it. I cry myself sometimes to sleep at night. I cry when nobody's looking, when my husband doesn't even notice sometimes, and just I'm very upset because I almost feel like I shouldn't feel this way. I almost feel like, how can I still be mourning? How can I still be mourning my dad? Like, I just feel like I'm the only one mourning. Like, I'm looking around and everybody seems to be happy, cheery, this and that, and I'm still hurting inside. And, like, why is that? Like, why am I still hurting like that? I'm sorry, guys. But my therapist has always told me that it's okay to feel that way. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to still be mourning and to still, everybody mourns differently, but I feel like I'm still kind of living in it, and if I let myself really think about it, losing Sophie, my puppy, and think about her, and I still mourning her in my heart, and it's just really rough, and I feel stupid. I feel stupid sometimes, guys. I feel like I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be mourning still, but I am. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to try to get myself composed here a little bit. I didn't plan on shedding any tears, but it just I close myself off a lot to it. I try not to think about it because when I do, if I dwell on it, it really, really does upset me. So I try my best not to do that. But and I think it's just really been bothering me the last couple of weeks, and like, especially going to my aunt's, where my aunt lived, and all of that. It's just really hard to know that they're all the matriarchs are gone, and I also don't have relationships with my sisters. I have two sisters, and I have a brother. I have two older sisters from my mom's first marriage to my dad, and then I have a brother who's 12 years younger than me from a second marriage when my mom and dad got divorced when I was 5 years old. So I have a brother and two sisters, but I don't have relationships with my two sisters. I really have never spoke too much about it. We have a lot of issues and a lot of stuff that that I won't accept anymore, and so we don't have a relationship. And because I don't accept negative or mistreatment, the way I put it, the way I see it, is no non-respect and all of that, and I refuse to take that anymore. I'm not going to be a doormat to anybody, regardless if you're my sister or not. And just my therapist always told me, not to quote her again, but she always told me that just because they're blood doesn't mean you have to have a relationship with them, because I always struggled with, but they're my sisters, like, they're my sisters, like, I should have a relationship with my sisters. And she says, you can't beat yourself up for that, because just because they're blood, it doesn't mean you're going to get along. It doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship. And, if it's unhealthy, and if it's negative, and if it's toxic, then your best bet is to not have a relationship. And that's exactly what I had to do, because I demand to be respected and to be treated equally, enough for that little sister business and all this, Linda this, Linda that. You know what? No, it ain't happening anymore. It ain't happening. So I put my foot down, and they go around saying that I don't, I'm mad at them, that I don't talk to them. Well, yes, it is true. I don't, not that I'm mad, because I don't have any hate in my heart for my sisters. Like, regardless, even though we don't speak and we don't socialize or whatever, I care about my sisters. I always will, and they're my sisters regardless, and I don't want any harm to ever come to them. And I still love them, of course. How can I not? They're my sisters, but I don't have to have a relationship with them, and I wish them well, and that's all there is to it. So I've come to terms with that a long, long time ago. But I just think with losing the matriarchs. And, it's not even like that. I regret a lot of things. I regret not spending more time with my Aunt Jerry and my Uncle Lenny and my Aunt Cookie. And, you always say to yourself, you should have, you should have, you should have, or I didn't do enough, or, it's really, really rough because you regret a lot of stuff. And I think I do that. I beat myself up too. I do that to myself because I think I could have done more. Maybe I should have been there more, even though I thought I did enough, or I tried my hardest and all of that. But I think it's normal to have regrets and all of that when somebody you love passes and all that. So I think that's really normal. But it's just really, really hard. I think it's just so much because I've lost, like I said, lost the connection of the family, and it was just very, very big. And family was always very important to me and to us. And, we always had extended family. I mean, we haven't had it for years, guys. Don't get me wrong. We weren't all kumbaya and all that. We've had issues. Nobody's perfect. We've had issues. But, they were connected to me. They were. And that's all gone now. And I guess I'm just mourning that. And I really don't have, like, when my father did pass, my sisters and I didn't have a good relationship. So I kind of mourned about myself, whereas they mourned together. And I kind of mourned myself with my family. Thank God my husband and my kids were there for me. And I don't know why this is all happening right now. I really don't. And I don't even know if I should air this because it's kind of pathetic. But I feel like just being myself. I'm just really, 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 really struggling, guys. And I think it's because I felt like I was an only child. I didn't have my sisters to, I felt like if I said I miss Dad, or I would say I miss Dad, I felt like my feelings were just shoved off. And that's how it was all my life with my siblings. I was made to feel like, my feelings weren't important. And that's just the way I perceived it and the way I felt all the time. So, that's how I felt. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to bash my sisters. Like I said, they'll always be my sisters, but I can't have a relationship with them, and that's just the way it is, and that's fine. I wish them well, and I would never wish them anything but wellness there. So anyway, other than saying that, I just feel like I was very, very alone, and I think that I bottled so much up, about my dad and about, my aunts and my uncles and everything, and just, and I haven't really been talking to my therapist, so it's been kind of like simmering in my gut, and I think it's why it's affecting my life the way it's affecting my life lately. So this is kind of lethargic. I think that's the right word, guys. Lethargic? No, that's tired. That means tired, right? I forget. I think this is good for me. Let's just say that. I think this is good for me. Talking to you guys, even though I can't interact with you. I mean, I do when we share and we text and we, message each other online or whatever, on YouTube or whatever. We chat. Like, I've made so many good friends on here that I could never stop doing this because I just love it. I love it. I have to say I have about two really, really good friends that I've met. One very good friend. I have a whole bunch of, like a very small circle, but very, very nice people on here, guys. Very nice people, and I'm so glad that I did this because it really does enlighten my life, and it gives me something to look forward to. I love sharing. I love sharing my life. I love sharing my cooking. I love all that. So it really does enhance my life. It really does. And I just felt like, if I can't talk to you guys, who can I talk to? Right? So I know that there's compassion out there, and everybody, and also I know that there's people going through what I'm going through. You walk around and you put a smile on your face, but you're dead. You're dying inside because, you miss your dog, like my dog, and I said to myself, but she was only a dog, and like my therapist would say to me, Linda, wasn't just a dog, she was something to you, don't push it aside and don't like make light of it. It's not, it's not light. It's your feeling. You loved her to the point where she was so important to you, and it's very important, and you can't shove that off. Like that's your feelings are important. Your feelings are important, and I just have to, always tell myself that, and I hope I help people, the people that are watching me, my subscribers are watching me, and they see that you can, you can air out your inner thoughts, and like, and maybe people will judge me, maybe people won't, maybe people will say, why do you talk about this, why do you talk about that, I don't know, whatever, I don't care. They want to judge me. If they judge me, then they're not, then they can click off. You know what I mean? They can click off. But I know there's compassion out there, and I know by me talking about my feelings and about how mourning still after 25 years, and still mourning after 3 years, that you think maybe you shouldn't be mourning anymore. Like, is this normal? And my therapist is always telling me, and I say my therapist, her, she's my friend too, really a doll, a lifesaver, and she's always told me that don't ever feel like, you know, you're doing anything wrong by, because I would go to her when, recent, whatever, and I would say, it's been 2 years, like why do I still feel this way? Like, it's so bad. And she would say, Linda, that everybody mourns at their own pace, and you're not abnormal, and it's okay to feel that way. It's okay. That's your feelings. That's who you are. And I always felt like I should have been done already mourning, which I'm still mourning. I'm still mourning my mother. I'm still mourning my father. I'm still mourning my aunt, my aunts and my uncle and my puppy, It's just really heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and I'm trying to work through it. And I think that my biggest thing, guys, is I'm going to go back to my therapist. I'm going to make myself a priority, and take that money and put it aside and go and see my therapist, because she really, I can journal. I will still journal because it helps me. It really, really does help me get my feelings out and everything else. And it really does help in that way. But I need to speak to her and just get some feedback. It's really good to have some feedback. And don't get me wrong, like, my husband's my rock. He's always there for me. He loves me unconditionally. He takes care of me. He's everything, but there's only so much he can do. There's only so much anybody can do. There's only so much anybody can do. So, guys, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to cry like this. I really didn't. It's just that I have been holding a lot in. I have been holding a lot in because my heart hurts. And I'm trying, and I'm going to try my best to get it together, and to just try to be motivated and make myself happy with the things that make me happy. And that's what I got to do, because I got to know in my heart that my family would not want me to be unhappy. And that's what my Aunt Jerry had said to me one time. She saved me when my mom passed away. I was very depressed. I had young kids, and I just wanted my mother. Like, I just wanted my mom, and I was not happy. And we went to her house at one time, and she said to me, she came over to me, and she shook me, and she said, Linda, your mother would not want you to be like this. Your mother would want you to be happy, and it was like, almost like somebody zapped me. And I said, you know what, you're so right. Especially that my mother was such a lover of life, loved life, was a happy-go-lucky big lady, who just was great. She was great, guys. If you knew my mother, you guys out there who knew my mother, comment down below if you guys knew my mom. Comment down below and say if you knew my mom, and say something about a memory you have of her or something. I don't know if anybody on YouTube is going to do that, because I don't know if there's many people that knew my mom that's on, my subscribers. But, guys, she was unbelievable. She was a force to be reckoned with. She really was. She was a great lady. Great lady. But, yeah, so, they would want me to be happy. So, and I want to be happy, guys. I really do. But I just, I feel a lot better now, because I feel like I had a lot of feelings that I didn't let out, because I don't want anybody really in my house to, I don't like my husband to be upset or my kids to be upset. And sometimes they just know, like, I show it in other ways. Like today I was very irritable. Yesterday I was very irritable, and they all know, like, mom's, like, not mom's in a mood, but like mom's a little off today, and I hate to have that. I hate to have that, but I can't, sometimes I just can't fake it. Like, it comes out in a lot of ways. And years ago, when I had issues like that, I would bottle them in, and I would stay on the couch, even with young kids. Like, I would do whatever I had to do. I'd get up, I'd function, I'd have to get them on the bus, get them in, make their lunches, do whatever I had to do, and then I'd lay on the couch all day until they came home. That's what I would do. I would do only what I had to do, guys. Now I don't do that. Now I function. I really do function. I'm at 95% functioning. So that, I'm just so proud of myself that I'm, at that point with the medication that I'm on, and the so talk therapy or whatever, and the support that I have, that I'm still doing pretty well. But so right now I'm just struggling, but I'm going to try to get myself going and do some positive things for myself. And right now I'm getting eaten up by bugs. I can't take it, these mosquitoes. They literally are eating me up alive out here, even with the skin so soft. So, yeah, guys. So, I'm just telling you that I didn't do a what's for dinner tonight, and I'm trying to get back to I want to do my organization, get back to my organization videos and all of that. And, I plan on doing what's for dinners every day. If one day you don't see me, I might throw a little video in there. Or if you don't see a video at all, I might just be, in a little bit of a rut, but I'll get back. And I just love you guys, and I love that you guys, talk back and forth with me. I love getting your messages. I love getting your input and all that. It's so much fun, and I loved just being myself, guys. Sorry, I got itches, bites. Just being myself, guys. You're always gonna get myself. You might not get my whole self at times if I'm feeling a little trapped inside my gut, but eventually you'll get it, just like today. You'll get it. I hope it was okay, guys. I'm sorry that if I made you upset, or if I made you, um, that I broke down and everything. But I just felt like I could with you guys. I just really felt like I could, and I really, really, my heart is really, really broken, and I just hope that it will mend. I think with time it will, because with my mom, it took a very, very long time, but, I'm okay. I'm okay. I was okay after 2 or 3 years, and I'm sure I know I'll be okay. It's just going through that heartache of it all is really rough, but thank God I have support. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you so much for your comments, and for your and sharing, and always being here to listen to me, and being so supportive. I love you guys. It means so, so much to me to have your support. And so, guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Also hit the notification button with the bell, so you guys can get notified every time I upload. All right, guys, so look forward to some good stuff. I'll be back. I am back. I'm fine. I just needed to vent all that. I really did, and I feel a lot better, but my heart really, really does hurt. But it'll take time. It'll take time. So thank you guys so much, and I will be back tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great night. See you on the next video. Bye.